Hello, check. Oh, that's loud. Hey, Tim. What's going on? Tim's back. That's why it's really loud. It's still a little loud, Tim. Hello, check, 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 check. Is that good? All right, let's give Tim a round of applause. He can't hear you. You have to be louder. All right, Tim, the sound guy. He's way up there. If you want to say hi, he takes photos, so you can take photos of him too. So he's a really pretty good sound guy. So how was everybody's afternoon? Good. Anybody take a nap or a rest? Few people. That's good. Had a very long day of conference. Anybody do some drumming? Yeah, a few people. All right. So what else was there? Anybody make some? Well, I guess Mark asked who made fry bread, but anybody make the fry bread? Yeah, fry bread makers. No, you did you? Okay, cool. Um, yeah, and Adam, go. Thanks for doing that. Fry bread's always good. What else was there? What else would happen? Oh, there's basketball. Anybody play basketball? No, you guys didn't. Some people over here, yeah. I play basketball, so man, yeah. So I can feel it right now. So all day, I don't know if you guys ever heard that. It's usually like a mockery of if you make a shot, you say all day. But for me, it's like I'm gonna be tired all day, and I feel that already. And it's like all day tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day. I'm just gonna be tired. So that for me, the all day means something totally different. Um, But thanks for joining us again. If you notice people aren't here that should be here, you can text them real quick or just holler out at them. I think everyone's come in real for this next session, so we have a good meeting for you tonight. And so before we move on, I just kind of want to introduce some of the elders that were up here helping us with the blanket ceremony, just so you can know who they are and kind of what they do. So that if you want to talk to them more about what they're doing, or kind of like Ray gave the announcement about how he's a professor, he's raising up indigenous pastors to preach and to work with Aboriginal peoples in Canada. And if that's interests you, we can talk to him. And so we have some of the other people who have done other things with different ministries and organizations. So first up, I'll just introduce Dr. Casey Church. He's right over here. And he just became a doctor this year, right? November. So let's give it up for Dr. Casey Church. And so Casey Church is the director of Waichoni, and if you remember Richard Twist, that was his old job, so he stepped into that role. And so if you're interested in something like Waichoni, working with community people and traveling, and they do the family camp in different locations, kind of a immersion classes in South Dakota. So yeah, and he's available for speaking engagements and teaching. And so if you're interested or want to know more, sit with Casey. He is right there. Next up, the next elder was Jerry Goins. Is he here? He's still eating, huh? Oh, he's right there. Okay, cool. Fresh fry bread grease. Yeah, so Jerry Goins, I asked him how to introduce him. He said just YWAMmer. So I don't know if you want to explain what YWAMmer is. For youth. Yeah, so basically working with youth. That's good. Yeah, thanks, Sherry, for helping this morning. I know she won't want me to introduce her, but Joanne Emmerich. She has been a friend. She's been a true friend of me and my families, as well as some of the staff at NMSU, as well as the students. So you can tell how well loved she is by the reception she got. So thanks, Joanne, for helping this morning. And obviously, Ray and Elaine Eldred, who are back there again. Let's give them a round of applause again. So thank you guys again for your words and for your prayer and just for being here with us. So we are deeply honored to have you here. Next up, Eric Seberg. Are they here? There's Eric Seberg. So I didn't get a chance to ask Eric what you do, if you want to say real quick.
Well, I'm a staff worker with University Christian Fellowship, and on the University of Wisconsin-Madison campus, and I've been with University for, since 1997. Yeah, it's an honor to be here and serving you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Eric. Let's give him a round of applause. Last but not least, Lee Webster, who is also up here. Is he here? Yeah, there's Lee. Let's give him a round of applause. So Lee is from Wasau, Washington. His son is on staff with Ivy in Wisconsin. So thank you again for helping us this morning with the blanket ceremony and just for that. Oh, yeah. He was going to come up and say something, but he's not here. Is Terry LeBlanc here yet? He was still eating chicken, I think, so anybody wrestle that away from him and tell him to come over. But he wanted to make an announcement, but anyway, yeah, I'll just say it. So Dr. Terry LeBlanc, he sits on the executive board of Indigenous Pathways and NAITS, the North American Institute of Indigenous Theological Studies. So he's a professor, he's a speaker, he's a good guy, all-around guy, and so that's Terry. If you want to have some knowledge, maybe sit with him and just talk. And he's not here right now, but he'll probably be here later, but that's Terry LeBlanc. So let's just thank our elders again for helping this morning. And just handing out the blankets. I know that's probably some students' favorite part of the evening or the ceremony, to be able to receive those blankets, being covered in God's love, and just to be serving you guys like that was an amazing time. And so tonight we are going to hear from Mark Charles. And so one of my favorite, or not favorite stories, but one story about this conference is when we were starting it, talking about it, there was quite a few of us in conversation about this conference. It was actually Mark that brought Ivy and Nations together, because we both put on separate conferences like this for Native students, and he said, why not just do one big conference? And so it was Mark who put out, I think on a Facebook post, like, what should we call this conference? And I think there was obviously like cool names like Gathering of Indigenous Peoples, kind of just cool things. And I think as a joke he put, would Jesus eat fry bread? As a joke, and then everyone just loved it. And so that's kind of how we came up with the name, Would Jesus Eat Fry Bread? So let's welcome up the man who made the conference possible and who's worked really hard with us, Mark Charles.
Thank you. Yup, A. Wow, that's a bit loud. Can we turn it down a little bit? Okay? Is that good? Can everyone hear me okay? Okay? Yat A. Mark Charles Inashia. Sin Baketanan Nishle, do Tohiglini Bashachi. Sin Baketanan Bashache, do Tolachitni Bashanala. So, as many of you may know, the Navajo culture is matrilineal. And we introduce ourselves by our mother's mother, who is our identity. So my mother's mother is actually American of Dutch heritage. And so I say Tsinbake Denea, which literally translated means the wooden shoe people. My father's mother, my second clan, is Tohiglini, which is the waters that flow together. My third clan is also Tsinbake Denea. And my fourth clan, my father's father, is Tolachitni, which is the Bitterwater clan, one of the original clans of our Navajo tribe. Every year at this conference, I give a talk on the question of, would Jesus eat fry bread? And the name kind of started as a joke because we were looking for something catchy and something fun, and we had all these different names. And like Donnie said, I just kind of threw this one into the mix to